Good morning, children of God. Good morning. Good to have you with us this morning, and Mark and Shula as well. Avoid problems, and you'll never be the one who overcame them. I need to think about that one a minute. Let's stand, join together with Mark. In this moment, love is here. Peace is here. Truth is here. In this moment, we acknowledge the presence of our loving Father, Mother God, moving in and through us. In this moment, we feel that presence. This day, we choose to be open and receptive and responsive to His instruction and to His guidance. In this moment, we are grateful for the opportunity to come together, to worship, to sing, and to pray in the name, in the nature, in the power of the Christ. Amen.
Now is the time for the reading of the daily word, and the word today is divine order, and it will be read by Terry.
Thank you. Divine order. I joyously participate in the orderly unfoldment of good. Divine order is always at work. It is the eternal and exquisite process by which all things come into existence. My very life is evidence of the graceful movement of God. Each one of us is an essential participant in Spirit's orderly creation. We each have a role to play in the creative process, the dynamic and continuing manifestation of God's infinite good. I surrender to divine order by aligning myself with Spirit. Although through a regular practice of prayer and meditation, I intentionally open my life as a channel through which God's love, order, and light radiate in the world. And from Romans 1:20, ever since the creation of the world, His eternal power and divine nature, invisible though they are, have been understood and seen through the things He has made. Thank you.
Thank you. As you can tell, for those of you who have been here on a regular basis, we have a little bit of change in the program, and it's going to be kind of fun. This will be a little bit different than we have done in the past. When in doubt, try something new. Not that part, though. One of the things that we know to be true is that the more we affirm who we are, the more we remember who we are, the more we can express that truth in our world. Let's take our affirmation together. I am a child of the living God. I have within me the all-creating power of the Christ. It radiates from me and blesses all whom I contact. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. And now I have the honor to turn our program over this morning to our good friends Shula and Mark. Let's welcome them.
Good morning. When I put this program together, I didn't realize that In the Garden was Phyllis's favorite song. And I'm also wearing my butterfly pants. And you know, these things always work out for the right. I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. He speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet, the birds hush their singing, and the melody that he gave to me within my heart is ringing, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. Yes, he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. And as I walk in the garden with him, I hear the birds in the trees. There's a thick canopy of leaves above me as the trees offer coolness in the garden. I hear the birds sing a call and answer, and it sounds so sweet that I listen to their cheerful voices. I smile and I breathe. My shoulders relax, and I am calm and centered in God's love. I look around me and I see many kinds of flowers, pinks and yellows, lavender and purple, blue and red. The air is perfumed with their scents. And again I breathe, and I relax, and I enjoy the garden. The grass is cool and green beneath my feet. And my feet feel sturdy, and I have no fear of falling, for He is with me. I relax and I breathe. Up ahead, I can hear the tinkling of a brook. Suddenly, I am thirsty. I run to the brook and get down on my knees and plunge my hands into the cool, fresh water. I cup my hands and bring water to my lips, and I drink deeply till I am satisfied. I feel the coolness of drops running down my chin. I sit back with a smile and I breathe. I am happy in this place, in this beautiful garden, knowing I am never alone and can visit whenever I want. But also knowing there is more to do this day, I arise and make my way out of the garden. But before I go, Jesus reminds me of a prayer He taught me long ago. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. And please, don't leave me in temptation, but deliver me from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And in case I wasn't saying it out loud, thank you. When you will get out of the way, everything that you need shall come to pass. It's a rule. I didn't write it, I just get to live it. Yay! The challenge is that sometimes we don't believe it. And when I say get out of the way, I'm talking about the little I am. Say, we live in this material world and we look at it and we say, that's what our life is all about, is this. And we forget that This is an outpicturing of what's going on in here. We have forgotten that divine love solves every problem. Things going on in our world today. We look at it and we go, oh, how's this going to work? Or, oh, how's that going to work? And we have people in our life we look at and go, how's this going to work? And right here, you have thoughts going on inside of you that are doing the same thing. How's this going to work? There seems to be conflict, anger, judgment. And it's showing up in my world. And I would rather live a different way. That's the first step. I would rather live a different way. Together? I would rather live a different way. Now notice I did not tell you what comes next. Because you need to decide what that means for you. But here's the answer for you, if you're willing to apply it. And the answer is divine love. The presence of God living in and through you. If you look at metaphysical writings across the board, you'll see that divine love through me blesses my world. Yeah. The challenge is sometimes I think what we've done in New Thought is we've taken the old Orthodox heaven, which we know is not out there, right? And if it is, that's okay, but no, okay? I'm just covering all my bases. And we've changed that to say, oh yeah, no, we know that heaven is right here and that all works together in divine love. And what we've done is we've sent divine love out there. So we just traded one out there for a new out there. We just gave it a different name. Oh no, heaven lives within, but divine love, that's out here. And if I just pray hard enough, I love that one. How can you pray hard? Anybody ever figured that out? Is that praying hard? I don't know, but it's, if I just pray hard, if I beg, that's the other one that comes along. Dear God, please. Right? Then divine love will show up and then things will be wonderful. And that's true. Comma, however, may I humbly suggest there's a better way. And that is to first realize where divine love lives. Now, right here. And the more I live from and in divine love, the more things change in my world. Part of the problem that we have is one called language. We don't know how to talk to each other because we get caught up in the language of out here. And gentlemen, this is a guy thing. We have a lot of trouble expressing the truth of who we are. It is hard for us because we buy into the notion that, it goes back to that hard piece, I think, to be able to look each other in the eye and say, Jim, I love you. To say to John, John, thank you for being here this morning. I love you. To Ed, I love you. Eric, Wayne, I love you. Dwayne, Don, I love you. Bill, I love you. To look you in the eye and say, I love you. And ladies, you don't get that much slack. A little bit. You have the same kind of, you're easier at it, I just have to tell you, because you come from that aspect of being, the feminine, that has the tendency to make it a little bit easier. But only a little bit. Because I get this, I love you. Okay, what's a step, right? A little air kissing going on. No, right? But look eyeball to eyeball, look heart to heart. Right? in his message, when Jesus said, my commandment to you is love one another as I have loved you. Is there any doubt in your mind that when Jesus met someone, he went eyeball to eyeball with them and said from his heart, from the truth of him, I love you? Is there any doubt? There isn't in mine. Including to those who disagreed with him a lot. A lot. But he still had the knowing of coming from the truth of who he was and is, coming from the Christ of him into the world, to be able to say that from his heart, from the truth of him, I love you. And in expressing that, he changed our world in a really significant way. 2,000 years later, we're still playing with that to a degree. And we will continue, I think, to play with it until we can take a new look from a social perspective at how we can live with one another. How we can take a look at the idea of oneness. And for those of you who are working on the new language book, please include me. The problem is we don't have the words. See, we have this duality language in which we live. It's our dual world in which we live. So it's hard to talk in a language of oneness. But I think we're going to find it. Part of it is this whole notion of divine love, and where does divine love live? And it lives in me. And I am the one, feel free to take responsibility, I am the one that is going to project it into my world, period. This day I choose to express divine love. Okay, what does that mean? Well, for those of you who need to start small, there's a whole series of plants in this room. Love them as you go by. They will respond, by the way. They do. I keep trying to figure out how they keep growing. We don't water them. Well, I don't water them. And they just keep big. Why? Because they respond to the vibration in our world stemming from divine love. And they have a different language for it than we do, but they understand when you come from the heart. Yeah? So start there. For those of you who feel really uncomfortable at it, do it personally and quietly. I love you. Right? It's okay. At every opportunity throughout your day, in every step of your day, take the opportunity. And you don't have to say it out loud. It's okay, because you're living in love, is to say, I love you. If you think about it for a minute, if every conversation began from the heart, now not just the words, I got to share this with you. This is how words get you in trouble. A many number of years ago, I won't tell you how many, a lot, I went to Unity Village to do some study work. And that's what was going on in that particular time, was what I call the bless you phase. No matter what happened, somebody showed up, bless you, bless you, bless you. Now, there was nothing behind it, it was just the words. They were so busy saying the words, they had forgotten what it meant. At least that was from Rob's perspective. Now, that doesn't mean that those who were around me weren't coming from a good place of good intention. They were, but they were just parroting the words. One of the reasons that Shula did what she did this morning was to say the Lord's Prayer and then sing part of it. Was we had a discussion about making sure that you pray from a powerful place. You know, there are still people, I don't have to go very far from this building, who think that to say the Lord's Prayer is to have a race. On your mark, get set, go for it, amen. Right? They do mouth the words. Say, what we're working at is take these words and come from your heart. That's coming from a place of divine love. What would your world look like when, not an if, when every word to which you give power began in love? What would your world look like? To be able to look at those with whom you have disagreement, but begin from love. Right? Breathe. That's really what we're talking about. We're learning how to breathe. We can take somebody's who, I look at life, one of the joys of living in this neighborhood and being here every day, with the tattoo parlor right over here, and some of their clientele are lovely folks, very colorful, and would give you a really good opportunity to go, if you wanted to go that direction, because it looks so different from what you're used to. When I'm used to it, I have to be the first to raise my hand. Purple, kind of red chartreuse hair and a big spike and a bone in his nose. I'm going, okay. But that's a child of God too, yes? Expressing what he knows to be true for himself or herself, as the case may be. And there's both, right? They're just being who they are in the moment. And every time I am tempted to judge, I remember this. Playing pool is going to look really good on your resume, which is one of the things my mother said to me. In a very disapproving tone. It wasn't until years later that I told her that most of my schoolwork, books and classes, were paid for in a pool hall. I played a mean stick. Anybody want to play? No. It's just in the moment. It's not about the activity. Right? And that, again, goes back to divine love. Divine love is not out here. It's right, comes from in here. The activity comes from within you. And you need to bring it from that place. And when you do, then you can smile. And it's really kind of fun. I know I'm just the old guy at the church. I hear that. They think I can't hear it, but I do. And the windows are open. I really hear them talk about me, and that's fun, because they don't know I'm here. But here goes something like this. The old guy at the church is very different. He smiles at everybody. He loves everybody. He honors everybody where they are in the moment. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have boundaries. I do. You want to sit on the stoop? I don't have a problem with that. Do me a favor. Clean it up when you leave. I have people who look for my car and wave at me on the way in and share the fact that I'm not going to be upset with anybody. I just have this oneness working for me. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know what's going on in their world. But I need to love them. Why? That's what Jesus taught me how to do. That's the Christ of me saying, love these people. Your brothers, it's easy to love you guys. You're all here, right? Well, some of you are all here. Others, maybe not so sure. It's okay. Right? But you're where you need to be in the moment. And I guess that's part of the lesson today about learning how to apply divine love, is to recognize that no matter who you encounter, under what circumstance they are in or you are in, that in that moment you have the opportunity to express divine love. And that activity then raises your level of consciousness, your understanding, which then allows you to receive in a whole different way. One of the things I've discovered is, by and large, as a group of people, we're really good givers. We're really good givers. We're not so good at receiving. Famous last line, guys, we all know this one. I can do it myself. This is not rocket science. Well, what if it is? I can do it myself. And gals, same thing for you. I hear that a lot. I'm independent. Of course you are. And I can do it myself. No. One of the things that we work on a lot is, you want to practice a word? Here it comes. The word is this. It's a simple little 3-letter word. The word is yes. Together? Yes. Now with from your heart. Yes. Now, when do you use that word? It goes something like this. May I help you? Together? Yes. May I help you? Yes. See how easy this is? No, I can do it myself. No, we're going to get rid of that one. We're going to let that one go. Because by allowing others to serve you, you learn to be of service. It raises you up. Now, the backside of that is offer. May I help you? Yes. May I serve you? Yes. See, it's a two-way street. But it's learning how to stand up in the truth of who you are. Not an easy lesson to learn, but a simple one. We just have to remember how to put things in order. Well, let me suggest to put the order this way. My brother Paul, with whom I do not always agree, said it this way, 1 Corinthians 13. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not love in my heart, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could remove mountains and have not love in my heart, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not love in my heart, I gain nothing. And now abide faith, hope, love. These three. And the greatest of these is love. Every activity can begin with love. Every conversation you have can begin with love, when you're willing to do it. Now, in order to do that, here's the challenge, is I have to set aside being right in the moment. I can pick it back up, by the way, for those of you who really want to hold on to that. I can pick it back up. But in the moment, I have to set aside being right, start from a place of love, and listen. And then come from love. The interesting thing for me is, in those circumstances where I would have been willing to come from that place first, I was generally right. For me. Things worked out for me. And I think for all concerned, even if I couldn't see it. And that's the second part of the challenge. Because I may not be able to see it. We have fun with stories. They're really kind of great. You throw a rock in the pond and we talk about the ripples going out, right? And we form that picture. How many of you have pictured the rock going through the water to the bottom and the ripples there? When do the ripples stop? And the answer is they don't. But we look at the surface. We're still on the surface, catching the ripples there. And it's okay. That's a good place to be. We're learning how to stretch it. But the truth is that every action is that ripple effect. Every word you speak is that ripple effect. The power you give to your word, the power you give to your thoughts is that ripple effect. We use the song, our thoughts are prayers. And they are, and all are. We're always praying. It's our thoughts. And we're moving through it. Do you have any idea? Do you understand how much power you have? And the answer is kind of like divine love. Well, yeah, it's a good concept, but I really don't know. Rob, it's okay for you to have lots of power. I mean, look at what you do. I hear that frequently. Look what power you have. It's huge. And when we come together collectively, we send out vibrations that change the world, shake the world, move the world, form our world by our thoughts and by our feelings. And the power of our word. Jesus spoke with power because he spoke from his heart, because he spoke from love. I was looking at a program this morning and I had forgotten that amphitheaters in the day were on the sides of hills and the actors at the base and people sat on the sides. Because the power of the voice here goes up and out. So a Greek theater as an example. Base is the theater. The seating is up here. So that when I speak, my voice goes this way with no amplification as we understand it today. That's how you talk to 4,000 people on the side of a hill, or 5,000. Add to it, you're not only speaking from power, but you're speaking from your heart. That's power that you own. You have within you right now. You don't have to wait for it. You don't have to beg for it. You just have to use it. Breathe. Again. Remember who you are. I am a beloved child of God. Together? I am a beloved child of God. Now say it like you mean it. Together? I am a beloved child of God. Key word being beloved. You cannot escape that. You can try, he said, raising his hand. I've done it a time or two. But that's the truth of who you are. You are loved. And you have the opportunity to take that love and explode it into our world. But it begins by bringing it in here. Take your list. We all have them. Oh, I would be loving, I would be divine, but, however, and now I have a list, yes? Is there anybody that doesn't have a list? If you don't have a list, I'm coming to sit next to you. We all have a list, right? But for one moment, just right now, just breathe. And I want you to set the list aside. Here is the truth. I am a beloved child of God. And because God can love me, and God does love me, and God expresses through me, therefore I am love, I can say this to me. I want you to use your name today. You can all say Rob if you want to. But I'm going to say, Rob, I love you. Put your name there, will you, together? Rob, I love you. Oh, I couldn't hear your name. I love you. Still couldn't hear your name. I love you. Breathe. Your name. I bless you. Together. I bless you. Still couldn't hear your name. Power. Ready? I bless you. Oh, that was much better. Your name, I appreciate you. Together? I appreciate you. Oh, that was much better. You're getting it. You're getting it. Eh? That's how powerful you are. You need to be powerful. That's how we change our world. Breathe. Because we can now love, because you can bless, because you can appreciate. Now we need to take the big step. Let the list sit. I can pick it back up. Breathe. To you say, I behold the Christ. Together? Rob. I behold the Christ. Breathe. You just changed your world. And for that I thank you.
Thank you for listening. Please feel free to pass this message along to your friends and family. You can obtain additional audio tapes or CDs by visiting our website or by calling our office at 541-772-6902. We invite you to join us in prayer. We know that prayer works, and now you can send your prayer request to our prayer team here at Christ Unity Church by using the form on our website. The activities, programs, and services of this ministry are presented on a love offering basis. All gifts, regardless of size, are gratefully accepted. You may participate either by sending your gift to Christ Unity Church, 540 North Holly Street, Medford, Oregon, 97501, or by visiting us on the internet at www.unitymedford.org.